Vola angwela o veteronugu, ako itabua. Ako do talitay na barong na Bula FM, nambando na sir.
Bula, alang gono ilutoka do talita ka ng Bula FM berarti ni nambando na sir.
Ni Bula binaka, nanreke ngo sa Bula FM nga. Na kasi.
Nalang go sa mundo atibyo ng Bula FM nambando na sir nusur.
Ni Bula binaka, nalang go Jerry, yang may lambasa. Do barong.
In the news tonight, EFL clarifies government intervention. Lambasa man charged with murder. And NFP president decides not to speak with FBC.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Amrita Sagar.
The board of the Energy Fiji Limited has made it clear that there was no intervention from the government as to how they should operate on a daily basis. This was clarified by EFL board chair Dakshish Patel after the Fiji National Provident Fund bought 20% of shares from the entity. Catherine Krishna with the story.
The progress made by the Energy Fiji Limited has been attributed to the freedom given to the board to operate independently.
Not once I've ever felt that there was an interference or instruction from the government or from the minister on how to do things. For that, I'm grateful, and for that freedom to operate as a board independently has been a wonderful experience.
Patel says there was always constructive criticism from the government.
Not once the Prime Minister called me and asked me or instructed me to do anything. Not once. And neither has the Minister, other than the normal interactions on reporting in terms of what to do. If anything, the messages that I receive from the Ministers and the Prime Minister has always been a complaint from a customer.
Minister for Economy Ayaz Said Kayum says the government ensures that state-owned enterprises are dealt within the framework of good governance.
And as the chairman of EFL highlighted, it's critically important to ensure that that level of governance and indeed that maturity within managing your state-owned enterprises.
The government has stated they are keen on the renewable energy space and there's a lot of potential for growth. Catherine Krishna, FBC News.
In an effort to combat the growing drug issues in Fiji, club owners are imposing stricter rules for thorough spot checks for all club goers. Speaking to FBC News, Down Under Pub Fiji owner says they're contributing to war against drugs by ensuring that people are checked thoroughly at the door before they're allowed to enter. Koroi Tandulala reports.
With the continuous night patrol from the Fiji Police Force and the strict rules imposed by some nightclubs, pub owners are now hoping this would ensure that not a single sachet of drugs ends up in their club.
You don't want your bag searched, you don't come in. We're searching for knives, drugs, all sorts of things. So it's an issue now, the drugs. Hopefully it doesn't get any worse.
Down Under Pub Director Caroline Wainigolo says that they're aware of the growing number of drug-related incidents in their country and they're doing their part to remain a drug-free club.
We have, especially when there was something put up on the media, about that we actually commented that it was found here. Every meeting we do discuss it. We find it with mostly the young the students.
Meanwhile, the Fiji Police is now working with many nightclub owners during its night operation to crack down on those who are dealing drugs in nightclubs in our major cities. Koroi Tandulala, FBC News.
The 41-year-old man alleged to have struck his wife several times with a cane knife at Navua Levu outside Lambasa, causing her death, has been charged. He has been charged with 1 count of murder and will be produced at the Lambasa Magistrates Court tomorrow. The man was arrested from his home in Daku after allegedly committing the gruesome crime in front of his wife's parents. The suspect and victim had been living apart for the past 2 months, and it is not known what triggered him to commit the crime. He allegedly struck his wife several times outside of the house and then followed her inside the house again, where he continued the attack. National Federation Party President Pio Tikonduandua has now gone to the extent of ensuring that he does not give any interviews to the Fiji Broadcasting Corporation. Speaking during the party's AGM in Lautoka yesterday, Tikonduandua attacked FBC News and accused its reporters of shooting and holding on to a similar video on the day of the alleged incident with him and the Prime Minister. Tikonduandua further accused FBC reporters of withholding the video that he thinks may have been shot by them on the day of the alleged incident. He told members that he will not be giving interviews to FBC anymore.
I want to add here also, I have no time for the media who have double standard, who cannot uphold the truth. I have no time for that, and until they redeem themselves, I am not taking any more interviews from FBC until they stand for what is right and what is true.
Up ahead, memorial service for WOW's Kids Fiji. An unsuccessful Fijian from owning a small barbershop to a new hotel accommodation. Details after the break.
Hi, Bula. I'm Selai from Nandi. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hi, my name is Satyama here in Ba. We love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, I'm Miri. I'm from Lotoka and I love Gold FM because they play all my classic hits.
Hi, my name is Fiona from Tavua and I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hi, I'm Ini from Rakiraki. I love Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
"19 of the 67 children who were supported by WOW's Kids Fiji have succumbed to cancer this year alone. WOW's Kids Fiji founder Sina Kami says that as they mourn the loss of these children, the organization remains committed to supporting children with cancer, a dream that their late daughter demands. Apenisa Wangairadovu reports.
People of different walks of life filled the Seventh-day Adventist Church opposite the Moda City Complex today to commemorate the lives of children that have passed on due to cancer and those that are currently battling.
They are not alone, and so today we were able to invite the community and also the doctors and the nurses and also the families and also the sponsors of WOW's Kids Fiji to join us today on just send out the message that the storm won't last too long and for the families to walk on them more strong.
Retired pediatricians Dr. Lisi Tikundundua calls for support for the works that WOW's is doing.
What we are doing is through the love. WOW's needs us. They are doing a great job bringing comfort.
Cheerful as it is, a mother of a child who currently is supported by WOW's Kids says that every day is a day to remain hopeful.
I know she's very strong and I know that she can handle this until the end. And I encourage most of the parents, please look after your kids. But right now, keep strong, very strong.
Meanwhile, WOW's Kids has pledged that it will continue on its long-term plan to have a hospital for children in the country.
Hopefully one day in Fiji we'll have a children's hospital that serves the rest of the Pacific. We're also committed to doing the same in Papua New Guinea, which is where I grew up. And again, just these special facilities that will deal with cancer and that will deal with the needs of children.
The organization, which builds on the foundation of Tai Kami, who was claimed by cancer in 2009, is now reaching out to other parts of the Pacific, all to assist families and children who are battling the disease. Apenisa Wangardobu, FBC News.
A 39-year-old Congo national charged for allegedly murdering his 44-year-old wife, Jennifer Downs, will have his case heard at the High Court tomorrow. Kiala Marcelino Henry Penacoy Lusaka's case was transferred from the Magistrates Court 2 weeks ago. It is alleged that on the 23rd of last month, Lusaka murdered his wife, Jennifer Downs. Downs used to work as a logistics officer for the United Nations World Food Programme in the Pacific. The body of Australian national Downs was discovered on the 23rd of last month at their residence in Service Street. The case will be called at the Suva High Court tomorrow for mention. Honorary Consul General of the Federation of Russia to Fiji, Div Damodar, says he is looking at expanding our services to whole new market. Damodar says his appointment allows Fiji to have access to a greater market where Fiji can learn to expand its trade with Russia. He adds he is exploring ways in which the bilateral relation between the two countries could be mutually beneficial to its people.
The opportunity for Fiji as we have access to a massive, wealthy consumer market. And it's great for us Fijians as we can look at our products, look at our services, and a facilitation opportunity for what could be in the future.
The issue of pollution took centre stage at the final night of the Vodafone Festival of the Friendly North last night. The King and Queen contestants advocated on issues relating to the theme Prevent Pollution, Save Our North during the week-long festival. Eleanor Turangavu reports.
The culmination of 7 days of festivities attracted a huge crowd at Lambasa's Subrail Park last night. While the hundreds were looking forward to the crowning of the new Queen, Chief Guest Shailendra Prasad used the opportunity to drive home the reality of pollution in the country.
The irresponsible disposal of rubbish in particular. And because in particular I'd like to mention plastic waste. These go on to block our drains, and when there is heavy rain, there is flash floods.
Derelict vehicles on land, derelict vessels in the sea, used household items, plastic bags and bottles continue to litter our shores.
While this may not have reached drastic proportions as yet, but if we do not take decisive actions now, these will become real problems for all of us in the long term.
After the formalities, it was down to the crowning. Miss Northern Civil Service Alitia Kautonga was crowned the new Miss Friendly North Queen. The 23-year-old teacher advocated for a plastic-free North.
To all the people of Lambasa, the decision of preventing pollution and saving our North lies in your hands now. It's up to you to make the right decision.
Miss Lambasa Hospital Sweater Chand was first runner-up. Miss Fiji Sugar Corporation Letileta Wangava was crowned Miss Charity. The proceeds of the festival was $253,000, out of which $60,138 was raised in the charity chest. Eleanor Turangavu, FBC News.
Big things often have small beginnings. The adage is specifically true for a successful Fijian for today, who from a small barbershop has now opened a new hotel accommodation in Savusavu, Vanuatu. Eleanor Turangavu has the story.
Successful Fijians is brought to you by the Fiji Development Bank, your partner in progress.
Meet 54-year-old Mukesh Chand, a humble yet very inspiring father of three. Born in 1965 in Bulileka, Lambasa, Chand is one of 8 children in the family. He was forced to drop out of school at a very young age.
I was an average student in my class, so I just went up to Form 4. That's my education level.
With his father being a carpenter and his mum unemployed, Chand took it upon himself to help support his family.
I worked in a sawmill, and then later on went to harvest sugarcane. And then I ended up in a elite theatre where I was a cleaner theatre. And then from there I ended up in a barber shop.
Chand found his passion in the barber shop, where he quickly learned the skills of the trade in only 3 years. Saving whatever money he had, Chand had plans to start his own barber shop, but in Savusavu.
I heard that there is only one barber, so the potential for the business was really high. And that time haircut was very, like 50 cents, a small hair and $1. The highest I could get was $2 a haircut. So it was very hard to save money.
In 1991, the young and reckless Chand, with only $95 in his pocket, made this dream a reality.
$5 was bus fare. So I paid $5. I was left with only $95. From there, I started. So my rent was $100, and first rent I couldn't pay my first rent.
A year later, he tied the knot and had 3 children. But he did not just settle with his barbershop business. He wanted to do more.
It was all my wife's plan, and she had an idea. Said, why don't we see people coming up and looking for spaces? So it came in her mind that we do something like this, and we never look back.
4 months ago, Bayview Barbers Lodge, just by Savusavu Bay, was opened. and now they are booked out almost every week. There are plans for expansion.
We have to go up another story. I have got the land there. We have to build there. And we are looking more space and more land. And we want to be in this business, and we go more deeper in this.
Chand attributes his success to the support and drive from his wife. He confidently told us they are now well off, and their secret is,
when you get the money in your hand, that's your money. You hold it to yourself. You think how you're going to spend that. Don't just, you see what someone is doing and you try to do it. As far as when the money is in your hand, that's yours. If it goes out, it's not yours. No longer belongs to you. So you keep that, manage your money.
Eleanor Turangeview, FBC News.
Successful Fijians is brought to you by the Fiji Development Bank, your partner in progress.
In sports tonight, great learning experience for Mosese Voka. And Nasino's struggle is real. This and more coming up.
Hi, I'm Shamiza. And I'm Salma. We're from Nandi and we love Mirchi FM because it's hot.
My name is Rajnita Lata and I'm from Vatulaloba. और हम सबका मिर्ची FM सुनता है because it's hot.
Hi, my name is Vinita. I'm from Lambasa. I love listening to Mirchi FM. It's number one.
हमारा नाम सागर रेड्डी है. हम लोग स्कूल में, हम लोग घर में और कहीं भी रहता हम लोग कल मिर्ची FM सुनता. Gold Town Tava में मिर्ची FM दागो मामा.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
One of the local players in the Flying Fijians Rugby World Cup squad has set a few targets while in camp. Iesawa man Mosese Voka plans to achieve his personal targets in the next few weeks before the World Cup. Aquila Dama reports.
He is one of the products of Fiji Rugby Union's development pathway, and Mosese Voka believes the breakdown is an area he still needs to focus on.
Based on all my details on the game plans and everything, like breakdowns, work hard and be more aggressive on breakdown.
Learning from experienced loose forwards like Peveli Yato and Dominico Wanganimburotu is a blessing for Voka.
Boys have been learning more and more, so it's been really a great pleasure being around our overseas boys. And this is, we have experience, and getting experience from them is a major boost for us ahead of the World Cup.
Meanwhile, coach John McKee has set out the criteria for the props, as one of them will be dropped next week.
It's a combination. I mean, the front race is really because there's a lot of technical aspects propping and you know around particularly the scrum, but also knowledge of their roles in the line out. But you know we know the game and the high intensity of the games are played at in Test match rugby. The mobility around the field is also an important factor. You know, particularly in defence, the 15 men on the park must really contribute really well in the defensive line.
The Flying Fijians will start training in the West tomorrow before leaving for New Zealand on Wednesday. They will play Tonga at Eden Park in Auckland next weekend. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
One of the pioneer Fijian wingers to play for another country stands proud today. Former Flying Fijians and All Black swinger Choeli Vindiri says in just a space of a month, 3 Fijians made their debut for 3 different countries. Vindiri says he's proud of Wallabies number 8 Isi Nesarani, Aliviretti Raka of France and All Black swinger Sevuloni Rees. Vindiri adds Rees may have just booked his Rugby World Cup ticket after last week's performance.
He did play well last week against Australia here at Eden Park, and I think getting him a ticket to Japan for the World Cup. And also the likes of Raka in France, he did play well too. And I really enjoyed how the young Fijian they are they're going about their rugby, their sports in other countries of the world, and what they've achieved. I'm really proud of that.
Fiji-born Joe Zokanasinga scored a double as England produced a dominant performance, thrashing Ireland 57-15 this morning. He is part of the action from the match. In another match, Scotland defeated France 17-14 this morning. All Black Sevens rep Salesi Rayasi, son of former Flying Fijians fullback Felipe Rayasi, touched down twice for Auckland against Bay of Plenty in the ITM Cup clash yesterday. Auckland beat Bay of Plenty 19 points to 13. Savu Sevens champions Natandra look set to feature in more tournaments. The Fiji Rugby Union Sevens window will start in October and the side is ready to stamp their mark on the local seven scenes. Aquila Dama with the details.
The ground condition at Savu's Nganilau Park yesterday didn't dampen the spirits of fans as they were treated to some world-class action, but the tournament future looks brighter with the major sponsor promising to be back next year.
Hosting the South tournament is not cheap. It costs us about $25,000 to come here and host this tournament. And we've been doing it for the last 12 years. And we will continue doing it because we like coming to South. Because year-round people, the Rugby Club, they do a hell of a good job in sponsoring this tournament and organizing the tournament.
Meanwhile, Natandra, who have won the tournament for 2 years in a row following their 2017 win in the final against Uluinakau, is planning to play in more tournaments.
We're hoping to Vitilevu to play some big sevens in Vitilevu. We've been going there for last year, and we are hoping to take him this year.
The conditions may have been unfavorable, but it failed to stop the flair and flamboyance of local sevens rugby. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
Suva and Rewa ended their Vodafone Premier League match with a 1-1 draw at the Uprising Sports Centre ground in Pacific Harbour. Both teams ended the first half with no goals scored, but Rewa struck first just inside the second minute of the second half through Janitani Baksh before Ngangame Feni equalised for Suva. Meanwhile, the much-anticipated VPL clash between Lambasa and Lotoka today at Nganilau Park in Savu was called off. Fiji Football Association says this is due to the unplayable ground condition. The ground have been used in the last 3 days for the Savu Sevens. The VPL journey is getting tougher now for Nasinu after their 2-1 loss to Nandi yesterday. Coach Tangi Monalangi says they have nowhere to train, which next week they will just have to go for road runs. Aquila Dama with the story.
The pressure is now on Nasinu to win against Tavua next weekend, but a frustrated coach Tangi Monalangi says some sports stars have come out of Nasinu, but it's a shame they don't have anywhere to train.
Eddie Wanga, you have all my two brothers, and then you have other players, Dakwitonga from Rugby League. They all came up from that valley level ground, but no more ground in, we don't know where to train. Even the schools, they have small grounds in schools in Nasinu, and they are not giving their ground, so most probably we just have to hit the road.
Nasinu's loss is Nandi's gain. The Jet Setters beating Nasinu for the first time this season, and they have high hopes of finishing in the top two as the battle for the OFC Sports heats up.
We have to keep winning from here. We won the last two league games. If we win the remainder of the games, and provided that there are a few upsets elsewhere, so probably we can end up on the second spot.
Nandi is currently third on the VPL table with 15 points, and Nasinu is sixth with 10 after 11 rounds. Ba is still at the top with 29 points. Aquila Dama, FBC Sports.
A high-pressure system to the southwest of Fiji generates and directs damaging heavy swell over the coastal areas of the southern and the western parts of the country. Now on to the west, it was fine apart from possible afternoon or evening showers today. Eastwards from Pacific Harbour to Suva, cloudy periods with brief showers were experienced. And up north, some showers with isolated heavy falls are still expected. At sea, southerly winds 15 to 20 knots, gusting to 25 knots through the passages. Moderate to rough seas are forecast. Looking at the tides, the next low tide will be at 7:47 p.m. tonight, followed by high tide at 2:01 p.m. Sunrise will be at 6:19. Now, tomorrow's forecast, there will be some showers with isolated heavy falls and thunderstorms over Vanuatu, Taviuni and nearby smaller islands and the northern Lau group. Brief showers are expected over the eastern parts and interior of the other larger islands. And as the further outlook for Tuesday, you can expect more of the wet weather. Recapping the main stories, EFL clarifies government intervention. Lambasa man charged with murder. and NFP president decides not to speak with FBC. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM to our poll question segment. This week we're asking, are you happy with the 32-member Flying Fijians team name for the Rugby World Cup? You can visit our FBC website to answer. You can also send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us for our Facebook page, FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at news or hashtag FBC News. And that was your FBC News for tonight. Until next time.
Natango merea maramani waya manatu ya sawa aweti kitunde nandi ya ndo marataka na waronga na radio Fijiwan.
Yawa asna datili yawa mara Monica. Tondo waronga vale bunar domai biti lambasa.
Bula natango wa prosana ngarse ngor kraki do talebe na waronga na radio Fijiwan na domai biti. Natango tsani bukia ngoni na mosi ando taleta kana waronga na radio Fijiwan na domai biti so.
Radio Fijiwan na domai biti.